She told me that during the time we had that fight at the start of our marriage, she got drunk one night and slept with a random guy, and that she has not cheated on me since. Welcome back to They Did What? Your source for the internet's craziest, most entertaining stories, where I go over them, analyze them, and most certainly make fun of them. Today, I'm going to go over an article titled, "After 18 years of marriage, I just found out that my children aren't mine." And guys, this article is recapping a Reddit post that went viral about this guy married to his wife for 18 years, been with her or known her longer than that. And all these years, he thought his kids were his. And then, as you're going to see, sounds like they took one of those DNA tests for the fun of it. And big surprise, his kids aren't his. His twin children, boy and girl, aren't his. I mean, you want to talk about heartbreak. And as you can imagine, his wife is crying and singing the blues and all that and blah, 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 blah. But just now the guy's in a situation wondering, what do I do? Because those kids aren't his. You know, they aren't his biological children, but he's been raising them as his. He loves them dearly. It seems like he has a really good thing going with them. Last week I did a story about a guy found out that his daughter wasn't his, but she was a total shithead to him. So, you know, hey, no big deal, goodbye. But sounds like it's a good situation with his kids. And there's obviously the wife factor. And what's interesting in a story like this, guys, is how she cheated, obviously, and she knew about it. She knew that the kids may not be his, but didn't tell him, right? And obviously, if she wasn't pregnant, do you think she would have told him that she cheated? No. And all these years, in the back of her mind, she had to know there's a possibility these kids weren't actually his, but she kept it quiet. Because obviously, if she knew darn well, if she told him when she was pregnant that she cheated, if she was honest with him, probably she knew that he would take off and leave, but she didn't want that to happen, so she kept it quiet and lied all these years. It's amazing. So I'm going to go over this article, which recaps the story, and then at the end, I'm going to read the actual Reddit post. It's not very long, but it does fill in some blanks about some things that were left out of this article. Big surprise, in case any of you guys want to hear it. So it starts off, it says, after being married to his wife for 18 years, a man discovered something unexpected, that his children were not his. Posting to the subreddit True Off My Chest, the man explained that he and his wife, Kelly, have known each other for over 20 years and have been married for almost the same amount of time. They have 17-year-old twins, one boy and one girl, and 2 days ago he found they were not his biological children. So this is very fresh. This is a brand new article. He said, he's quoted as saying, "My kids got those ancestry tests for the family, and we found out that I'm not their father," the man wrote in his Reddit post. He explained that he had met his wife Kelly while working at the same job after graduating from college. They were both extremely ambitious, and after working for a couple of years, they decided to start their own business. Never a good idea. Doing business with family, not a good idea. Some people may disagree. Some people may have had luck in that department. If you have, great. But with your wife, he says here, "We fell in love. And a year after starting our business, we got married." That quickly. How many of these stories, things go to hell in the handbasket when they get married too fast, without really getting to know each other? A couple months into the marriage, they got into a massive fight over the direction they wanted to take their business, and the man left their home. A couple weeks after their fight, Kelly had sought him out. The two of them talked it out and reached a compromise and have been inseparable ever since. Well, what was Kelly doing during those 2 weeks that they weren't talking? And that'd be a pretty big fight that he actually picked up and left. Pretty big fight. Well, what did she do during those 2 weeks? You think she was thinking about business? No, she was getting down to business. Around that time was when I found that his wife had gotten pregnant. Of course, there was no reason to think that the children weren't his, especially how much he loved his wife. And later on in the Reddit post, you'll see her reasoning behind all this and trying to get what to blame for her indiscretions. We've been through thick and thin. Our business has been through several hardships, but we weathered them together. We were always there for each other. We could always depend on each other, he said. I loved her so much. She was a part of me, and I couldn't even imagine a life without her. Well, that's the problem. That's the problem a lot of guys have, where they make it that their wives They make them the center of the universe. And I can't live without you, like one of those stupid romantic songs. Guess what? When women know or think that their guy can't possibly live without them, what does that do? That brings certainty. And then when there's certainty from her, that's when BS can begin. I'm emphasizing can begin. Because there are some that are better, that are obviously not as bad as others. But you get my point. You don't want her to think she's the center of a universe, that the sun rises and sets with her. That is the worst thing you can do, because otherwise there's going to be bullshit in varying degrees. Another way, you want to have it where she always knows in the back of her mind that if she pushes you too far, disrespectful, whatever level of disrespect or problems there are, you'll walk. That no matter what, you respect yourself more. Right here, this whole attitude, I can't imagine my life without her. Dude, is your life that dull? Do you think so low of yourself that you can't, seriously. This is the problem these guys get into. But of course, they see this crap on TV and movies or hear these song lyrics that put this in their heads. His wife told him that during the time the two of them had been fighting at the start of their marriage, she had gotten drunk one night and slept with a random man. There you go. It's not my fault, it's the alcohol's fault. So she was that mad at him because he didn't agree in the direction of the business and what I tell you about doing business with family. Well, she had to go cheat on him. The betrayal left the man in absolute shock. He told his wife that he needed some time to process all the new information, and he's currently staying at a hotel. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. The last 2 days have been a blur. I feel like a zombie, completely unable to feel or process anything. I feel bad for this guy. I mean, obviously didn't know any better and all that, and he trusted her, and again, she's can't imagine his life without her, that type of thing. And this is the thanks he gets. Okay, you had a disagreement about business, and he took off. I mean, obviously it'd be pretty freaking bad for him to take off. And I respect that he actually walked. The problem is that probably she found she was pregnant, and then gave him the whole sweet talking and all that. It's at a point, guys, with all these stories I do on both channels, it's almost like the second you have a couple and the wife gets pregnant or the girl gets pregnant, and nowadays a guy needs to demand a paternity test because you just never know. Too many of these stories pop up. It's crazy. The man added that he does not want to abandon his children, and despite the fact that he might not be their biological father, he still loves them dearly. Yeah, for 17 years of their lives and his life, those were his kids. And obviously sounds like he has a great relationship with them, so I can understand that. But he's never going to see them the same again, and he's never going to see his wife the same again. Right now I'm sitting in my hotel bed, and I have not eaten anything today. My thoughts are a mess, so I'm writing this down to help me process. The man writes at the end of his post, he still thinks Kelly's been a great wife. Okay. And an excellent business partner, but he's not sure if he'll be able to look at her the same again or if he'll ever be the same again. She's been lying to you all this time. She's not a great wife. She may put on the show of being a great wife, but she ain't a great wife. She's a cheater and a liar. And I don't buy for 1 second this whole is only one time type of thing, or there has been other bullshit. It's the problem when A, you do business with family, and B, what happens when she knows that she's the center of your universe. Don't get me wrong, I'm all for being good to your girl so long as it's reciprocated. But you come first, guys. Otherwise, bullshit can happen. I don't know how to move forward, he concludes. Well, I got words about that, which I'll get to in a minute. Many people under the man's Reddit post offered words of comfort as he navigates this difficult moment. One guy says, first things first, you gotta take care of yourself. Get something to eat. Relax and watch TV. Just unwind a little. If you had a rough bit of news, that's putting it mildly. And this is world-shattering for anyone to have to deal with. You need to focus on yourself right now. And just give yourself what you need or figure out when you have time. Another guy said, please make sure you sit down, your kids down, tell them that you love them no matter what, and that it isn't their fault. Yeah, it's their WHORE of a mother's fault. Another guy says, even if legally they are considered adults, they are still teenagers and will blame themselves for this unless you talk to them. Yeah, I agree. He's got to sit down and talk to his kids. I definitely agree, and that's the end of that article. The guy needs to have time to process and not be rushed to figure out the roller coaster of emotions he's going through. But I will say this, if he's got a good thing going with the kids, okay, fine, even though there's some other jackass's kids. But he raised them, thought they were his, and it's not their fault. They shouldn't have to suffer because of what their mom did, okay? But as for her, goodbye. I don't care how much of a great wife he claims she's been all this time. I don't believe a damn thing she said. And darn it, I know darn well that back when she found out she was pregnant, she probably knew if she told him, he'd be gone. Or at least a good enough reason. So she had reason to suspect it was a possibility. So there you go. Kids, if they were great kids, I'd have a relationship with them, obviously. But with her, she's done. Dissolve the business. You got plenty of reason for a good divorce because right here, these kids aren't mine. She lied to me the whole time, and move on. Because the guy's obviously, I'm going to guess 40s, plenty of time to start over again. But if he stays with her, he's always going to be thinking about that. Those kids will be a constant reminder to him of her cheating and lying for all this time. And he's going to be wondering, what else has she lied about or is lying about? All sorts of things. And he's not going to get that out of his head. I know this because I'm a guy and this is how guys work. So it's best to just end things. Now, I'm going to actually, in case you guys are interested, I'll read the actual Reddit post, what it said here. It says, again, after 18 years of marriage, I just found that my children aren't mine. My wife Kelly and I have known each other for over 20 years and been married for 18 years. We have 17-year-old twins, a boy and a girl, and I found that they aren't mine 2 days ago. My kids got those ancestry tests for the family, and we found out that I am not their father. Kelly and I met each other as co-workers at a job right out of college. We're both very ambitious, so after working for a couple of years, we started our own business. We fell in love, and a year after starting out that business, we got married. Smack. Too soon. The common theme with almost all these stories is the guy married too early, didn't get to know her well enough, put her on the pedestal, made her can't imagine his life without her, that type of thing. She started pulling BS, and he didn't check her. Put her on the pedestal. This is the common theme. He acted weak. She lost respect for him because of weakness, etc., and down, and off we go. A couple months into our marriage, we had a massive fight over the direction we wanted to take our business in, and I left her home. She came to me a couple weeks later, and we compromised. Probably more like you did what she wanted. We've been inseparable ever since. Kelly got pregnant around that time. We've been through thick and thin. Our business has been through several hardships, and we weathered them together. We were always there for each other. We could always depend on each other. I loved her so much. She was a part of me, and I couldn't even imagine life without her. Smack. I trusted her absolutely until this happened. Kelly's been crying and apologizing constantly. Cry all you want, apologize all you want. It's not going to change anything. It's not going to make me trust you. She told me that during that time we had the fight at the start of our marriage. She got drunk one night and slept with a random guy, and she's not cheated on me ever since. Well, that makes everything better then, because, her word is gold. The betrayal has left me disoriented. I told Kelly I needed time to process this, and I'm currently staying at a hotel. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. The last 2 days have been a blur. I feel like a zombie, completely unable to feel or process anything. I don't intend to abandon my kids. I might not be their father, but I'm still their dad, and I love them dearly. Right now, I'm sitting on the hotel bed, and I have not eaten anything today. My thoughts are a mess, so I'm writing this down to help me process. Kelly's been a great wife and excellent business partner. Bullshit. And I don't know if I'll be able to look at them the same again, or look at her the same again, or if I'll be the same person again. I don't know how to move forward. So there was the official post in case any of you guys wanted to hear it. Well, again, I said what I think about this whole thing. Kids, have a relationship with them because he's been their dad all these years, regardless. And it sounds like they're good kids, so they deserve it. And make sure they let them know if that's his choice, he'll be there for them. It's not his fault. But for her, see ya. Starting over. You've been lying to me all these years. I don't trust you at all. I'm always going to imagine you with some other dude. Forget it. Kiss my ass. All right, guys. That is it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Let me know what you think, how this guy should handle it. Also, guys, you come across a good story, it'd be good to share on this channel. Something crazy, something outrageous, or just something that's interesting like this. Email it to me, strongsuccessfulmale@gmail.com, and I'll get to it when I get a chance. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.